Welcome to the Bearcat Beat on LSPN, where each week we share conversations about everything that makes Sherman ISD athletics so great. I'm your host, Chris Daly. Sherman Bearcat Athletics represent the heart and soul of our community, where champions are made both on the field and in the classroom. Our student athletes embody the Bearcat spirit through dedication, perseverance, and excellence, creating memories and building character that will last a lifetime. Remember, it's better to be a Bearcat. This is just one of the many amazing things that the Booster Club accomplishes throughout the year for all sports. If you're interested in joining the Sherman Athletic Booster Club, or if you want to purchase some merchandise to show your Sherman Bearcat love, you can visit the website at shermanisd.net under the Athletics tab. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Bearcat Beat. I'm Chris Daly, and I am joined by Coach Cory Gilley, the girls' track and field coach. Coach, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing awesome. So we're done with district, but before I talk about how you did in district and who's moved on, let's talk about the season, because as a first year coach doing girls track, what's your takeaway from the season?
It was a longer season than majority of the kids that we had been able to run in. So, for example, last year there was like two or three track meets that got canceled either due to the weather or just circumstances just didn't occur. So they only had maybe like three or four actual meets last year, and this year we had six. And so we got to go to a lot more. We had one, our Gainesville meet kind of got half the field events were canceled due to rain. And then when we had Decatur, which was 2 weeks ago, it was the field events only was canceled because of rain. So we got to run, just didn't at that field event. So yeah, 6 meets this year. And I think the kids were just not used to how
That
long a
much.
season can be. Yeah, and so because we were very young this year, we had a lot of middle freshman girls that in middle school only had like three or four meets, and so it was good to learn where we need to improve upon next year as a coaching staff and getting kids used to the season.
Nice. And you mentioned the coaching staff, what you've learned. Tell me what it is you have learned from this season that you can take into maybe tweak for next season.
Like I said, we were really young, and so a lot of it we found out not until this district meet.
Hmm.
We found out where some girls excel in, or we found an event that they enjoy and they can be successful at. It just took us six meets to figure this out, and
Got
so
it.
a lot of it this year, because my assistant coach Sarah Roscoe, she's new to Sherman too, and so just trying to see how we work together and see where we can put our kids in the best opportunity for success. We had a couple of girls that ran in throughout the 6 meets, probably had 8 different events that they did because we're just trying to figure out like
Yeah.
what they're good at, what they can help us score points in, things like that. So just this year was just more of a trying to figure out where we can put pieces together to be more successful as a group, but also have our kids be more successful.
I love that. And talk about some of the kids, what you've learned in that time. If you got somebody who's competing in all these many different events, you've learned some things. What's your takeaways?
Yeah, we had a couple of kids that thought they wanted to do hurdles and thought they wanted to be a sprinter. And so, like for example, we have a freshman girl, Skylar Douglas, that she's pretty quick, but she just doesn't know we don't know what race she's good at
Right.
yet. So we put her in the 100, we put her in the 200, put her in the 400, did mile relay, did sprint relay, did the 4x2. So we just tried her in different things. We tried high jump with her. And so it's just one of those things that she was saying, hey, I'll try it. We'll see where I'm at, good at it. I have another freshman girl, Amy Sanchez, who was a mid distance. So she'd run the 800, she'd run the 400, she did mile relay. And she's like, Coach, can I try 300 hurdles? Because
Yeah.
I was like, hey, why not? So she ran a meet when 300 hurdles. And so it was nice to see that the younger group of kids just trying to try out new things to see what they're good at.
Yeah. Now I know coming into it, not knowing the history of Sherman girls track, or these girls in particular, it seems like it would be hard to grade them. How would you grade the team as a whole, though?
Oh, that is a good one. It depends on how, I guess, how you look at it. If you look at it just sheer numbers, we finished the year with 41 kids that we
Wow.
had. I had signed up 41 girls for the district meet. Now, our total team scores at the district meet wasn't high,
Hmm.
but if you look at throughout the year, we started out with 32 in our first meet and kept growing as we went on, to where by our third meet at Farmersville, our JV girls won the meet, and
Nice.
so they finished first place at the Farmersville meet, and so just trying to get them to understand that we as coaches are trying to do the best for them and the best for the team to try to score most points we can. And I think they throughout the season they figured out that I might be running JV this week, varsity next week, or just I might be doing an event that I probably might not get a medal in, but I'll try it and see how it works. And so uh, that's pretty much how it was this
Got it.
year.
Got it. Let's run through the senior class. You said you're a very young team, but you've got
Mhm.
some seniors for which this is their last season.
Yeah. So our distance runner, her name is it's a hard name for me to say, but it's Zitlali Mendoza Hale. She's our 3,200 meter runner. She's a senior. She broke two school records this year.
Nice.
Her own record that she held, she broke it twice. Once at the Farmersville meet and at district, she ran uh, she ran a 2 mile in her fastest time ever, 11:49, broke the school record in by 11 seconds. But
Hmm.
our district is so tough that she finished fifth in the event. So it's like, couldn't ask for anything else
No.
more from her. She made a PR, she ran her best. It's just our district is that tough with that. Our sprinter, McKinley Broyles, she'd been my first leg on the sprint relay, and she'd been running the 100 a lot. She PR'd her best time ever at district. This is one of the things that we wanted to see is we wanted to
Yeah.
see, finish the best you can at the last meet. And
Yeah.
so had a couple more, a distance runner, Marisol Castaneda. She played soccer. So we got her late in the season, but she came out and helped out and ran the 2 mile and the mile, helped us out as much as possible. I'm hopefully I'm not missing another senior, but if I am, I'm sorry. I can't think of them right now. But those are the three that the mainstays. I guess they went in most of our meets. So
Excellent. Excellent. And you mentioned you have a soccer player. Well, this is the kind of sport where um, every other sport wants them to have as a multi-sport athlete. How
yeah,
many of your kids are multi-sport?
yeah, we had let's see, I had a couple of probably 6 to 7 volleyball players,
Nice.
4 to 6 basketball players, 6 to 8 soccer players, and so it was definitely spread out. We do have a track only athletic period, and I think out of those runners we had about 15. So we used it from all sports, and we pushed multi-sport. I tried to, I won't say steal, but I always try to like, hey, can I get some soccer? If they're
Yeah.
not running, they're not playing this week. Can I steal them for a track meet? And so it was been good. Coach Dow on the soccer program has helped out tremendously. Just if I ask him, hey, can I borrow her? He's like, sure. And so we borrow
Nice.
her real quick, and then they go back to soccer practice.
Very cool. Very cool. And what about parents? For a program to be successful, the parents have to be involved. What's your grade on how the parents did?
Yeah, the parents have been great. So that I kind of over communicate with, for example, if this is our weekly schedule, this is what we're doing. Here's the list of what the kids are doing, what your kids are running, and more about communication. If there's any problems, you're concerned, give me a call or give me an email. And they've been great. We've had a couple on the boys' side, a couple of parents that helped out tremendously with breakfast snacks, things like that. When we ask for those early morning when we have to leave, and the kids sometimes haven't had breakfast because we still got like a 45 or an hour drive in the bus.
Hmm.
We asked for like snacks, bananas, granolas, and all the parents. We've had almost too much. Like there's
Yeah,
so much food that did donate. It's been great for us, and so the parents really stepped up this year to help us out.
I love that. And what's next for the individual athletes that are still participating, and then on to the off season?
Well, so our one boy, Ezekiel Beck, he qualified for the triple jump at area, and that is this Friday.
Wow.
And they're running at Mount Pleasant High School. And so if he finishes top four, he gets to go on the regionals next week or 2 weeks, which is at UTA Arlington. And so we'll be hoping that he'll be able to advance on that one so we can continue track practice to him. The ones that didn't qualify, they're either going to stay in the track period or they'll go on to their fall sport to start doing kind of their off season for that. So we only have like maybe 5 weeks, 4 weeks left. And so
Yeah.
they will continue on with their next sport, which is the fall sport for them. And so my numbers, I guess, in our class period will shrink a little bit as we have a lot of multi-sport. But the ones that stay will continue working on our sprints, working on getting stronger, faster. All the things that you do in the off season.
I love that. And what about the summer? What happens related to track and field in the summer?
The summer wise, we have our summer strength and conditioning program through the school. I've also handed out or given information about the summer track programs. There's one here in Sherman, and there's one there's other ones like Van Alstyne. I'm sure there's some in McKinney. I just give the information out, and if the kids can do it, I try to push it as much as possible, but it's not like a mandatory thing. Just trying to get stronger, bigger, stronger, and faster. Pretty much, just trying. That's our goal because our district is so tough that we need. Not saying we can take time off, but kids still need a summer to be a kid. But when school comes back around, we're going to be hitting it pretty hard when they come back. So
Love it, love it. Well, Coach Cory, gosh, I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me, sharing a little bit about what's going on with track and field, and best of luck for the rest of the school year.
all right, thank you very much. Appreciate
Take care.
it. Have a good day.
You too.
I want to thank you for listening to the Bearcat Beat. Each week throughout the school year, you will hear all sorts of great information about all the athletic programs at Sherman ISD. Please do us a favor, like, share, comment, do whatever you can to help us reach more Bearcat fans.
Hey Coach, Lone Star Gridiron has been the leader in Coaches Show podcasts for 20 years, and now you can get your own Coaches Show podcast each week during the season as a fundraiser for your booster club. Yes, booster clubs all over are using these podcasts to help their sports programs. You get to share the stories of your program and your kids to a huge audience and make money. We started with just football, but this year have expanded to make them available for all sports. Call 713-269-4620 to find out the details and get your Coaches Show started.